I'm Dr. Pamela Thomas, Pam. Welcome to the Online with the CMC. This is AI in the library world, and Eric McKinney and one of our interns, Anslie Waldrep, will be presenting. As I mentioned, we will be taking questions during the live demo and after the presentation. So please enjoy.
All righty, thank you, Pam. I appreciate the introduction. Welcome, everybody, to today's Online with the CMC. Today, we're going to look at AI in the library world, and we're going to have some fun with the live demo during this. So let's go on here. Here's our agenda. You'll hear the bios of both Anslie and I, and we'll discuss what is AI, what can AI do, challenges with implementing AI, and then we'll do the live portion of this presentation. All right. My bio, I have 15 plus years of cataloging experience. The bulk of that is in an academic library in Decatur, and I've been here at the CMC for about 2.5 years now. I'm married to a librarian. That's how I got into library work. Unfortunately, she's a school librarian, so she got yanked from her library a long time ago to teach classes. But she'd much rather be in there. I enjoy spending time with friends, family, pets. I think everybody does. There are pets below. That's Tyrion, featuring drool sickles. If any of you out there have a Great Pyrenees or a Newfoundland, you probably are quite familiar with the drool. And there's our cat Griffin, looking all spiffy. What else? I like tacos, but then not much to say about that because who doesn't?
Hi everyone, I'm Anslie Waldrep. I'm one of the CMC interns this spring semester. I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in library and information science at the University of Iowa, but I also work at the Urbana Free Library as a patron services specialist. And in my free time, I enjoy reading puzzles and hanging out with my cats. The one on the left is Oreo and the one on the right is Anya. So we'll start off talking, if Eric, you want to move the slide, about what is AI. So AI stands for artificial intelligence. And OpenAI, who is an artificial intelligence research organization, defines AI as highly autonomous systems that outperform humans at most economically valuable work. And a couple of examples of free AI or AI that the public has access to. All of these are going to be chatbots. The first one is ChatGPT, which access for that started back in November of 2022. Right now, there is a free version of ChatGPT 3.5, and the paid version is 4.0. And this was created by OpenAI. BingAI, which access for that started in February of 2023. That's Microsoft's AI, and then Bard, or they recently changed the name to Gemini. Access for that started back in March of 2023 is Google's AI. And there are many more AI that are free that exist out there, but these are kind of some primary ones that people use. And our biggest question with AI is how do you evaluate the information that's coming from these sources? So if we take a look at ChatGPT 3.5, sometimes when you're talking to it, it'll talk about how the last time it was updated was January of 2022. And you may be thinking, wow, that was a long time ago. So that doesn't mean that the chat in itself hasn't been updated. What that means is the chat doesn't recognize any real-time information from January of 2022 to now. So it has no idea who won March Madness this year or if a famous person has died within the last 2 years. In my experience, these forms of AI with chatbots are easier and more helpful to use with inquiries that don't necessarily relate to real-time news. It'll even mention in the chat that it's essential to verify from reliable resources for the most up-to-date information. And I'll give it off to Eric.
All right, thank you, Anslie. Let me move the slide over here. So we're going to look at what can AI do. Chatbots, of course, are coming up everywhere these days. Image creators are more recent, but you can still create images that have some output. If you're doing like a library program or something and want some advertising, you can use an AI to create an image. Video or AI, those are a lot more recent. They've just come along probably the last 6 months or so. And you can literally have it output a video after you tell it exactly what you want. And this is kind of why the actors and actresses and everybody is kind of scared of AI because it could certainly replace them.
So one of the challenges that can exist with implementing AI, the first one is going to be technologically constrained or technological constraints, sorry. So smaller libraries might not have the resources to maintain certain AI and the technology involved with that. And there's also this level of digital literacy that's needed to understand how to access, but also how to use this technology that exists. The next challenge is a rapid pace of technology change. Even within the past 5 months, AI is consistently changing, and it will continue to change in the future. And libraries are going to continue have to update their systems as well as learn the new developments and updates that come about as AI is changing. The next challenge is ethical and privacy concerns. So AI, in some cases, relies on data to function. And especially in libraries, this data could consist of patron information that's sensitive. One example could be reader's advisory. AI could access their reading history and give recommendations on what to read. But one of the things we really need to think about is how can we protect patrons' data while also having a service and access to a service that is beneficial to our library. You can change this slide, Eric.
Thank you.
So one of the other ones is bias. So this can actually come about from the data that's used to train AI, or even from the person who's made the AI, and this is called algorithmic bias. So if we go back to our reader's advisory example, how can you know that the recommendations are going to be fair and unbiased? For example, if a person who made or helped train this AI loves mystery books, the AI might actually recommend more mystery books to people, even if it's something that they don't necessarily read. And lastly, it's not 100% perfect. AI is not perfect. I think while it's very helpful in giving us information that we want, there are cases where the chat or inquiry that someone is trying to ask AI or chat box can be interpreted in a different way. I'm sure all of Eric's inquiries in our demo are going to be perfect, but there are times where you might have to go back and forth with AI to get the answers that you want, or you might even have to reword your initial inquiry to get the information that you require. So I'll hand it off to Eric to do our live demo.
All righty. Thank you, Anslie. That was a great job. Let me switch our slide here. So for our live demo portion of today's presentation, we're going to look at querying, or how best to do that in the AI chatbot. Then we're going to look at call numbers, and then subject headings, library promotion, and we're going to see if AI can create a bib record for us. So let's move on. All right, so let's start with querying. As it says there, an AI is only as useful as the query. It's not like Google where you use Boolean operators, although you certainly can with an AI. Let me go ahead and pull up mine. So today I am going to be using Poe. The website is poe.com, so you can either go there or you can download the desktop app. So what we're looking at here is a lot of different AIs that you can use. Some are free, some are not. I usually use the assistant, and it tells us here that it's powered by GPT 3.5 Turbo. So that's what we're going to be querying with today. Let's go on. All right. So it is only as useful as the query. So let's go back here. And we can just ask it. You really don't need the question mark. And sometimes when you do this, it feels like you're talking to someone. So a lot of times I say please, or there we are. Well, this says that they are commonly used, such as and, or not. But they're also not necessary. If you really don't want to use them, you can just kind of talk to it like you would anybody else. So let's kind of look at that. We'll start with the call numbers. I'm going to use Library of Congress and DDC 23. That's the Dewey Decimal System, of course. And look for a book or, let me go back to the AI. All right, there we go. Now this is the portion where you get to tell me what you want to have it do. As far as call numbers, is there a subject that you have? It helps if we can have a subject, so you can just throw one right out there. You can put it in the chat. Anyone? Right, while we wait, You see down here, you can tell me more about it. It has other.
Somebody put macrame and
Oh,
somebody
macrame.
else suggested baseball local region.
We'll try that first. Let's try macrame
Macrame.
first. So, yep. Oop, I don't want to type it there. I want to type it here. Now, I've been playing with this for a while, so I don't actually have to put in Dewey Decimal System. I can just type in. But the very first time I used it, I did kind of spell them out. And it seemed to remember that. Oops. If I can type today. Macrame. You don't even really need the question mark. It's just two. So it tells us it's going to put it in 746.422. So I'm going to switch over. I'm sorry if this switches quickly. So now let's log in and see how well it did. It told us. Oops, sorry, flipping around and I missed the one I needed. There we go. So it told us 740. And what was the number after that? Here's my chat. Nope, I want Poe. There's Poe. All right. So what was our number there? 746.422. So let's keep diving down. 7 textile arts. 746, and it's going to put it somewhere down here. And that's the closest we get is knotting weaving. And that's, I don't know. That's kind of close, but that's probably not a one I would use for that. But you can tell it, you can correct it. What did it give us for the LC number? I don't see an LC number. Oh, in K. So that's where it wants to put it in LC. Let me pull up. And I can't go very far with this. Let's just open this. In K is decorative arts, so that sounds pretty good. So just a basic NK is where it's not quite sure where to put it in here. So I think it just spit out a general number. So that's one thing, as Anslie said, you're not really trustworthy all the time. Like Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. So I do that quite a bit. Let's see, what was next on our, oops, did I already do? Let's see, yep, we're on to subject headings.
Somebody else had suggested baseball
Oh,
local
yeah.
region. Did you want to try
Yeah,
that one?
let's try that. Let's see what Poe says. Well, Poe says about
Although
that.
you could use that one for the subject headings if you wanted to.
We'll try it here too. Yeah. Oh, worked on local baseball. I can't see the chat. What was it name? Local baseball.
Baseball local region. So I don't know how you want to word that.
796, 796. Wow, it's really chatty today. All right, I don't know if everybody can see that, but it says it should go in 796.357, and it goes on to give us a nice explanation and the Library of Congress classification is GV 865. So let's head back to Web Dewey 796.357. Athletic and outdoor sports and games. So we say what, 357 ball games. Looks good so far. Ball driven by club, mallet, or bat. Lovely. All caught and thrown with the same equipment. That's all right. I'm forgetful today. 357. baseball. So it's just going to give it a general, which isn't too bad, but as it points out with the LC number, you could probably add some stuff to that. And all right, the LC number it gave us was GV865. So let me go back to my got too much stuff on my screen. Sorry. So let me get this back up. I don't want subclass in anymore. Sorry about the quick scrolling. Avert your eyes for a moment. Oop, it did not do what I wanted it to do. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties and I can't get the correct PDF up, but that should be in the general area also for baseball. From working in an academic library, I do recognize GV865 as the baseball. Again, another thing I wanted to point out is after you've made your query, you can have it expand more on it if it didn't talk enough to you. You provide examples. So you can do a lot of different things down here with it. So let's do different subject headings than macrame and baseball. Does anybody have something for a subject heading?
Well, somebody had posted, if you had said St. Louis baseball, would it have given you the geographic Dewey to add to the number? Because I know it was giving you that 0973.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's put in, what was our original baseball local region? Let's see what it tells us. Man, that doesn't look too terribly horrible. 796.357. I believe that's what we looked at earlier. Reading some baseball.
You could try copying and pasting the number from chat and doing a browse search in
Search for
WebDB.
that. There you go. There's a good idea. Come here. Let's start with this one instead of the big old. All right. Here's baseball rules. So yeah, it came close, but I'm not sure. Now, why don't we try the other one? Because baseball, that sounds good. It is baseball, but we say go Cardinals, but they don't listen. Nothing for that one, but it's because of all the local stuff. That's all right. All right. Do we have any other subject headings?
No, but Ginger is playing along while you're doing yours. She did a similar search and
Cool.
it said if the book specifically focuses on the local baseball region of St. Louis, it might be categorized under a narrower subsection within the Dewey Decimal Classification System. Since it pertains to a specific locality, it could fall under the 977.866 section. This section is dedicated to the history and culture of the St. Louis region, including its sports teams and events. If the book primarily discusses the history, players, teams, and events related to baseball in St. Louis, this would be an appropriate classification.
Go ahead.
But does anybody have any subject searches that you would like Eric to do? Melissa says, I had trouble recently coming up with subject headings for a video on advocating against non-consensual surgeries on intersex children. Wow. Okay.
All right. Hold on. Keep going. LC. Oop, no, subject.
Yeah, you're doing subject.
So, yeah, we're on the subject. Or intersex. I'm sorry. What was that again? I can't see anything or the chat.
Advocating against non-consensual surgeries on intersex children.
on intersex children?
Yep.
Woohoo! My brain remembered it. All right. What do you say there, Poe? Wow. If that's it, that's great. Wow. One thing I would warn with subject headings, as we said, AI can, well, they call it hallucinating, which is kind of terrifying. But yeah, trust but verify. If you're using AI to come up with a subject heading, I would definitely put it into OCLC connection to verify that it is definitely a good heading. I've been playing this for nearly a year and it's kind of hit or miss. I'd say about 50-50 for the ones that actually turned out to be good. So just keep that in mind. Do we want to do one more subject heading or have it expand, or let's try that. Wow, so it's putting out quite a bit. Okay, I'm not going to read all that to you because that's quite a lot. But so that's what you get when you tell it to, hey, give me a little bit more on this subject, if you could, please. All right, do we have any other subject headings?
Not currently in the chat box, we don't. But remember, everybody, you can unmute yourself if you want to ask your question verbally or provide a suggestion.
Alien abduction.
Or you can post it in the chat.
So if any of you get abducted by aliens, I know where to put the book. Probably. So no new subjects. We can move on if we don't have a subject, and we can take another look at library promotion. This one's kind of fun. So this is where we're going to
We've got one, sorry, history of fashion.
Oh, history of fashion. Cool. Let's try that. Oh, where'd you go? There's Bo. All right.
Were you doing subject headings and not classification numbers, though?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'll go back to.
Although it does.
Oh, yeah, well, it does kind of tell you.
Yeah, it just tells you that it's in TT, though, not.
Oh, yeah, this was working on
Subject
subjects.
Yep.
Okay, so what we want.
Subject headings for history of fashion.
Oh, okay, well, that's what this was.
No, those are
No, it didn't
Library
put
of
it. How
Congress
about?
and DDC classification
Oh,
numbers.
okay, that's
You
interesting.
switch back to classification.
Oh, okay.
So you want some LCSH for history of fashion.
The C20.
No, LCSH.
Nope. Oh, we're doing, okay. Well, there you go. That's not a whole lot. Fashion history. And again, I would definitely double check that in connection to make sure
I'm
that that's
sure
correct.
it's valid.
Yep, and not a hallucination. We want to make sure Hal opens the pod bay doors for us. So, all right. So let's move on here to library promotion. We're going to look at DAL-E, but I'm going to be using Stable Diffusion. These are both free. I think they do have a paid tier that you can subscribe to, so you get a little bit more. So let's go back to Poe. And we want a new chat. So if you want to start a new one, you can just come right up here, and that'll take you straight back to the home and all of the different things you can do. Now, what happened to, there's Stable Diffusion. Well, I guess they're calling it Stable Diffusion XL now. Generates high quality images based on the most recent prompt. And it even gives you a few suggestions to get you started if you want to, but those are cool, but they're not very fun. So I'm going to do the one that we did yesterday.
And while Eric's typing in there, if you guys have an image that you would like him to look up, please either put that in the chat or unmute yourself and ask. Thank you.
One caveat, you might be careful about using copyrighted characters or works like Chewbacca is copyrighted. I'm kind of surprised that Disney police haven't shown up to the door yet. Well, giving the librarian how about a high five? Everyone likes those. So let's see what it does here. And it doesn't take too long. Hey, that one's actually better than anything we got yesterday. Librarian's shoe looks a little bit weird. So what's kind of cool about this one is you can with the remix button down here, if you want to add something to it. If we want to add, and this is where the AI kind of chokes a lot of times for me because it doesn't quite do what I ask it to. So we can update it there. But as I said, you could use this for library promotion if you just kind of made your own. All right, I don't see my purple pants on Chewbacca. I think they put that on the library. A librarian, and her face is kind of squished.
But she has normal feet now.
Yeah, her feet do look a lot better, but I think that went to her head. So
yeah, we've got a couple of suggestions or do you want to keep
to add to this or to do a new one?
For this.
Okay,
I mean, to do new ones, sorry.
Okay, no, go for it.
But with the spot. So somebody just has rock star. So
rock
I don't
star.
know if Monica wants to expand on that or if you just want to do.
Well, let's just try rock star and see what happens. Who knows what it'll do?
Okay.
I love it.
Well,
that is awesome.
That is actually kind of cool. Maybe not what Monica was looking for.
Yeah.
Let's see if she posted something else down here. She just said any generic image of rock star. So are you looking for a person, Monica?
That would probably be another bot. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, there we go. I don't know who that's supposed to be.
Kind of reminds me of Keith Richards. If you look at the text on this, you can also see that AI doesn't do very well with like text.
No, those words don't make any sense.
Yeah, you got the gobbledygook up here and down there. What do we want to remix it with?
Hang on. Oh, I don't care.
Oh, or that's way some
more.
Yeah, go for
it. Hang on, I gotta go back up.
Okay, that gives me time to drink.
Jill says we are doing a month-long program collecting denim. It is then donated and shredded to make insulation.
And cutting it up for donation or just for
it's shredded to make insulation?
Shredded to make insulation. An advertiser collecting it, I'm shredded to make insulation. Yeah. All right, well, let's try that.
Let's see what happens.
I kind of laughed when I was looking at some of the paid ones. I am absolutely no. Hey, it almost says corn. That's pretty funny. Oh, denim. See, it got some words right.
Yeah.
And I like the shredding portion. It doesn't look like denim, but
he has kind of a creepy expression on his
face. Yeah, he does. I'm getting kind of serial killer vibes from that guy.
Yeah. Oh, Jill wants to know what's the image type on these? Do you know?
You know,
I know you said you can download them, right?
Looks like a PNG.
PNG.
Yeah. So if we remix it, let's see what happens. Shredded denim. Shredded denim.
So Jill says we ship it whole to a company and they shred it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy, he looks
much he looks much better. Still kind of a creepy expression, but better hair.
Yeah.
And then Ginger asked, is there a way to chat back and forth and ask it to try again on specific parts of the image, which I think that's kind of what Eric was doing with the purple pants. So, yeah, I think he's answering my question now. Yeah. Yeah, when he's doing the remix. Yep.
So remove, let's see.
Maybe the shredded part? I don't know.
Or how about
although then what are you gonna be left with, right?
I don't know. Let's see.
Remove the insulation?
How about text? Let's see if it'll just remove the text.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my.
Oh, it gave you a new thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was applying it to that.
No, something was wrong with her leg.
Yeah, she's not feeling well. All right. Well, if there's any more, I can certainly.
That's all I have for now.
Okay. Well, All right.
If I
then.
missed any, please just
Yep,
re-add
just
it.
throw it in there. Okay. So that's kind of our library promotion, and that's our Stable Diffusion XL now. I'll have to go back and amend that. Yeah, the initial image came out really well, but when you start remixing and remixing, yeah, a lot of times it just gets wonky and doesn't quite know what it's doing. All right, so what is up next? Oh, bib records. This one's always fun too. All right, so I went to our little library and found a book called Vivo, which I'm showing this. I don't know if you can see it on the camera.
No, because your camera's not on.
Oh, that's true. Okay, derp. Anyway, it's called Vivo, Voice In, Voice Out, The Coming Age of Talking Computers by William Crossman. So what we're going to do is go back to Poe. Where did you go, Poe?
You might have closed it.
Possible. Sorry, I don't need my desktop. Relaunch Poe. It disappeared altogether.
Yeah, I think you exited out of it. I gave you the
There we
preview
go.
image. Yeah.
There's our guy. Okay, so let's start a new chat. This time we're doing bib records, so I'm just going to straight out ask it first. I'm going to be polite to it because if they do take over the world, maybe they'll leave me be. Create. Oop. All right, so here we go. That's tell me more. Let's see if I want to amend that. Oops. All right, here we go. Hey, it actually got William Crossman today. Last year, it couldn't recognize the author.
It didn't give you anything past
Yeah,
the 264. Interesting.
yeah, definitely. So here's where you can kind of go in and tell it to, hey, give me a little bit more here. As you see, it doesn't know the place of publication. So this is kind of, I don't know, I'd use this more as a guide than anything. It still didn't give us our 650s.
So I have a quick question. So if you were doing this and like it wasn't adding the publication year and stuff, if you put it in there, like if you said that was published in 2022,
If
do
you're
you think
feeding it the
it's gonna start
information.
doing it? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
We'll look at that with our next one, I'm gonna tell it the specific fields that I want in here.
So you're going to get bossy with it. Okay.
Yeah, see, right now, yesterday it actually presented some pretty good subject headings for the book, but today
You
it's,
must have worded your question differently
yeah,
yesterday.
probably so. But yeah, if you tell it the place of publication, luckily typos don't really
That's
matter.
okay. The bot doesn't care.
It does not. It even apologizes to you. You're
It's
so
got
thin.
good manners.
It does. See, that's why it's hard not to say please and thank you to it when you're working with it. All right, so I did put in New York.
So yeah, you would
Don't
have to
remember.
tell it the publisher, you're going to have to tell it the year, you're going to have to
Yeah,
give the number of pages and dimensions and all that stuff.
yeah. So the bottom line is I've been playing with this as a cataloger. You may as well just go ahead and catalog it in like connection or something local. Yeah. Yesterday it actually spit out subjects for us. So I'm kind of
Mhm.
this is totally different than what it did yesterday. So
And a
that's
fake
why I say
505.
buyer beware. Yeah, yeah, right. Let's see. I bet you it comes up with something. We can make it hallucinate.
But it didn't fill it.
No, it didn't do anything. Tells you, hey, do it yourself. All right. Thanks.
Okay,
All
can you ask it what are the subject headings for that book?
And this one was published well before 2021. So
Oh. Huh. Oh, so you have to suggest, okay.
tell it,
And Melissa says it didn't adjust the 008 for the publication location, did it?
I don't believe so. Like I said, I would not use this currently to catalog anything. Coming of age of talking computers. Let's see if that helps it out. Now, there you go. Build on enrollment.
Well,
I have a,
Yeah.
sorry, I have a
Go.
quick question.
Please go for it.
It actually has to do with a call number and like,
Okay.
so this is like a real-time thing that happened to me the other day. There's a new book out called Grown Women Talk. And it's by, I'm gonna tell you, Sharon Malone. And so like if you went in and you asked this AI to suggest a call number for it, right? It'll probably give you the one that came up, which I think it was like a 362, which I didn't love because I felt like it should be in the 600s, like the 618. So I'm wondering if like it throws out a call number, if you could say, could you suggest a different call number? And if it would give you a different call number. Because you know how sometimes you get books and you're like, I don't love this.
Right. And I don't think that should go there. You do want DDC or Dewey, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And if you have to put the author again, it's Sharon Malone.
Okay. Sharon Malone. Wow, that's crazy. I had a cousin named Sharon Malone. 3 classification, and I have the title correct?
Yep.
It's taken the easy way out.
mm-hmm.
If you can provide themes or topics, it can do something.
You know what? I wonder if it's because it's new and if this hasn't been updated in like
Oh,
a
good
Yeah.
call. That's probably exactly it.
yeah, I just thought about that. So yeah, there you go.
Nope,
Yeah,
you're
we were
right. I
talking
believe
about
it's only
this.
goes up to 2021.
Yep.
We were
Or
talking about
this
this
one.
yesterday, like where is it pulling the information from? Like, does it have
Yeah.
access to WorldCat or, Amazon? Like what resources is it pulling from?
Right.
Okay.
Like if
Okay.
you were a cataloger in a public library, most likely you're cataloging new material. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Things that are coming into your library unless you're replacing something that's older or
right.
do some historical cataloging, which is a minority, but okay, cool.
All right.
All right,
So
we've
now I'm
got
going to give
a
it a
question. Can I throw that out? So is anybody using this to make it smarter? I'm imagining in 3 to 7 years from now.
Yeah, I've read things in 5 to 10 years from now, AI will be taking over gaming. Well, it's excellent at programming, things like that. Yeah, I don't know, 5 to 7 years from now, it might. So let me real quick put in.
Yep.
That first bib record. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I guess if you're training a new cataloger and you want them to see the fields, but now I'm a little bit more specific. I ask it for the specific fields. And let's see what it does here. Hey, it got my 334. I had a fight with it yesterday to do that.
Yeah, it's still not giving you any subject headings though.
No.
Or filling in the 504, the 5.
Yeah, again, it says it's not familiar with the book's content.
Yep.
I just told you what it was about. Let's see if we can get Cranky back.
Ooh. Oh, and M. Jacobson says specifically with cataloging about making these bots smarter.
Well, and I think every time anyone interacts with it, that helps kind of make it smarter because you're putting in new information. I'm not sure how they're crawling across the internet now, since a lot of artists and authors said, hey, no, we don't want you copying our stuff. This time it actually gave us
Yeah, it did.
it actually put in some, the 505, that's not terrible. Although those are certainly not the actual chapters. So
Oh,
that would be
so
another problem.
Melissa mentioned the 040 EEC because
Oh,
it probably thinks that those subfields should be in alphabetical order, as do other people like
yeah,
me. But sadly, no, that subfield E is always supposed to go after subfield B.
yeah.
Made that crazy decision.
Well, we can tell it to move it there, please.
Yes, also assuming we're DLC. Yeah.
Subfield E in the 040
After subfield B.
after sub.
B
Well,
content, maybe?
let's see what happens.
Do we have to be that specific?
Apologies for it. Seems to me the more specific you can be, the better result you're going to get. But again,
Yep, it did it.
I still would not trust that result. And this time it did not put in a 334. Please replace insert.
Well, that's good.
It did add it, but of course we would have to go back and put that in. So yeah, as a cataloger, I don't know how useful this actually is.
This time when you said you forgot the 334, it went back and added it, but the thing you did before about moving the RDA in the 040,
Yes.
it moved it back to the end.
It's not super smart, okay? It can't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, right now I wouldn't worry about it taking over, but yeah, 5 to 10 years from now, who knows? I've been playing with this for about a year, and I gotta admit, it's getting better and better each time that I
So
interact with it.
Jill asked, would it be useful for creating brief descriptions of books? I think so, but like, we talked about before, I think you might just have to really feed it the information that you have. Ooh, good one.
What if you added to that in 2 lines or 3 lines? Like if you put like a limit on the number of sentences the brief description
Yeah,
could.
because that wasn't brief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
No.
We found a good use. All right. Anything else coming in on the chat, or do we want to move on to?
Not yet.
All right. Well, let's move on. Where are we at?
I don't.
Let's see. Bib records. Oh, and here are our references. Oh, actually, though, I wanted to try one more thing since we have a little bit of time. One thing that it can be pretty good at is translations of foreign languages. So let me see where I put. And also good for diacritics. So let's just go back. That's correct. It is replete. Well, it just kind of made something up. Crazy. That's
Well,
one
it's
heck.
just telling you what each of those words
Yeah.
means. It's like, okay.
That's funny. Earlier, it gave me, when I was playing around with this, it gave me this. Translates to yeah. Let's go with sentence. Love this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's awesome. So like I said, when I'm working with foreign languages, especially a lot of diacritics, I can, sometimes it doesn't come in with the diacritics, so I can tell it to add them. In this case, we're going to tell it to remove them. And then I can have it add them back. That is very true. So then if if you have the sentence here, but you don't have the diacritics, you can add them back. And
Still a nonsensical phrase in check.
oh, that's crazy. Earlier it told me this bottom line here, it comes to 4 yellowish horses, how devilish odes. I think that's excellent. So I put it into Google Translate and it came back as the 4 yellow horse neighed devilish odes. So and
Oh, which is kind of nonsensical.
yeah, but that's great. 4 yellowish horses, how devilish odes. I don't know. We'll steal that for something. So yep, that is just what did we have? Yeah, we had it remove and we had it add. So that's kind of how I use it for foreign languages. You can certainly use it for translations, as you saw here. Just more than happy to translate my 4 yellowish horses for me. So that is really the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them out. If you want me to type something into a bot, here are the references that we used for the presentation. On the call today, we have Barbara Scobie, the CMC cataloger, Dr. Pamela Thomas, who's our bibliographic grant manager, Mary Cornell's a CMC cataloger. Yours truly is a CMC cataloger, and I don't know why that bounced back
It
because we
does
don't
it
want to
every
forget.
time.
Oh, does it? Well, sorry, Kat. Didn't want me to present you, but that's Kat Anderberg, our metadata cataloger. Blake Walter, unfortunately, he couldn't be with us today, but he's a special project cataloger. Katie Roberts is a special project cataloger. Andrea Joysta is also a special project cataloger. And finally, we have Anslie Waldrep as our CMC intern, and I think she did a fantastic job on this. So, okay, why can't, there we are. Questions. I guess I'm going to start with the question phase. Is anybody out there using AI in a library right now that you know of? Or I know some of them have chat bots, but I couldn't find a specific one. So yeah, go ahead and feel free to speak up or throw it in the chat.
Nothing so far. Just a reminder, the slides are in L2 and the slides with the notes will be in L2 after the presentation. Sherry says, I've used it for writing pieces for a newsletter.
Yeah.
And Carolyn says, no, I don't feel it's reliable enough. Okay.
Yeah, well, both are definitely fair. I'm kind of on the fence myself, but yeah, it's definitely, I think, good for creating or things like that, just little blurbs about a presentation or something. They have some really crazy ones down here.
Lori says, I haven't, but my daughter has used it for creating D&D characters and worlds.
Awesome. Nice. There are actually some role-playing AI bots that I saw one for Game of Thrones. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you can choose who you want to be and then go in, and I don't know how it works. I haven't tried it, but
Melissa says no, but Alma or ILS is starting to use AI to augment their CDI shared mostly vendor records. So we will start seeing them.
yeah, it's crazy. Just driving in this morning, I heard a story on NPR about a company that is partnering with Illinois hospitals. They have an AI that detects sepsis a lot earlier. So pretty soon, all the hospitals in Illinois will be equipped with a sepsis detecting AI.
And Melissa gave us a link.
Ah, cool. Thank you.
Lori says some of the ref librarians mentioned using it for calendars. Okay.
Ooh, okay. So I wonder how that works.
I don't know.
Or I wonder if we need an image. This is just chat. Flip over to our image. Oop. Let's see. As you can see, it keeps your chats If you want to get rid of them when you're done with them, you can right click the ellipses and delete chat. Are you sure? Yep. So let's go back to our happy Chewbacca. All right. What's the best query to put in this? All right. So give me the subject one more time.
What are you talking about? Which one?
Oh, shoot, creating calendars.
Oh,
Oh,
she
let me-
just says some of their reference librarians are using it for calendars. And she says, I do not know either. I just heard it said, so I don't know how they're using it.
Well,
Oh,
that's what I got. It's
okay.
pretty, but
You've
it's
got
not
some
really.
pretty months on there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, like I said, AI doesn't really do too well with text.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might have to slap it into Photoshop and kind of do some editing there. But yeah, it's best attempt at a calendar. So yeah, I wonder what AI they're using to do that. All right, any other questions, comments?
Not so far. Okay, I'm putting the link to the evaluation form because we really appreciate when you guys fill that out for today's presentation. And then next month we'll be doing getting serious about series. That'll be May 9th. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to register in L2. And we are currently working on our FY 2025 online with the CMC webinars. So when we get those created, I will add them to L2. Ooh,
Well, anyway,
some
thank you.
faces are a little funky there.
Like I said, text is not very well, but it's saying thank you from us here at the CMC for coming today and attending our presentation. I'm sure it says that's somewhere in there. The bot could probably translate it, but yeah, I think we're running out of time. So.
Okay, just getting a bunch of thank yous. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.
All righty.